Hey Internet, it's Gunter with MiniMishaps, and today we are going to be making some miniature holiday magnets. So this is a fun project that I've wanted to do for a while. I found this big bag at an antique store or a resale shop, thrift store, there we go. And they're little Santas and Snowmen, and I don't know if they're like porcelain or plaster, but we're going to put some thermoset plastic bases on them and do some other basing and repairing that you can see going on in the background there as well. I have this big merfolk that I'm rebasing for a friend because it's a medium-sized person that was on a large-size base, and it just seemed kind of silly. And then I 3D printed these three minis over at my friends at Nerd HQ. 3D printed these: the walrus guy, the merchant, and the mustache twirling villain. So we're gonna do bases for both. I've got all these nice molds, base molds 1 inch that I made in a previous video, and so that'll get some bases on some minis that didn't have bases. I repaired the shoulder of that one and the bottom of the screen there. But the holiday minis are fun because I'm going to set them back. Normally you try and center the miniatures so that they balance in the best way. But in a minute I'm going to show you that I am actually, for the holiday ones, going to lean them forward and push them against the back of the base so that most of the curve of the base is front-centered, front-weighted, which means that they'll be able to stand up even though we're going to clip the back curve off so that their flat edge on the back can be flush with the fridge or whatever they're going to be magnets on. So I'm putting these two clamps on a ruler. I'm setting up my bases all in a line, and the ruler is going to be sort of a backdrop for the minis. I'm putting double-sided tape on the back of the figures and then over the top of the ruler so that they sort of hang at an angle against the back of the ruler, which leans them a little bit more forward than they otherwise would because the two clamps tilt the whole apparatus forward. So we'll mix up a little bit more of that thermoset plastic and then pour those bases. So the idea here is that you can do this with just about any miniature, but you do have to make sure that if they're going to be freestanding, separate from being a magnet, you do have to have them tilted forward so that the center of balance is still able to keep the miniature upright. So these other two minis decided that the big purple one was too big for the small base I poured. Pull these guys off of their molds and then pull them off of the ruler, and we'll get to clipping them next. And then the walrus guy, because he's holding such a large fish on the other side, it was causing him to fall over to the side. So we tilted him, stood him up, and filled in plastic underneath, so he's got sort of a surfboard kind of a base. So there you can see I've got my sprue snips, and I'm just flushing the side of the miniatures that are going to go against the fridge there. So all in all, this turned out to be an easier project than I thought it was going to be. I thought for sure I was going to be wrestling with the magnets and not having the adhesives work against the plaster porcelain, but really they worked really well. Or I would lose the feet in the bases because of if I had to make it thicker for standing them up. But they poured out just fine. I've got these self-adhesive magnets, and I'm doing 2 at a time on each of the miniatures. And yeah, so Hopefully, since these are gifts, the person that is receiving these doesn't see this video until after they receive the gift. Otherwise, spoiler alert for them, I'm sorry. But I do think these are going to make a pretty sweet present, and I'm excited. So there they are on the fridge. I'll zoom out a little bit here. Working magnets, you can see the bases come straight out. And that's it. There you go. So some holiday magnet minis. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what we're doing, you can support the like and subscribe, or you can help us for the holidays. We actually have our Amazon list in the description, which if you want, that'll help if you want to send us art supplies for videos or any of the projects that we're working on. So we appreciate all the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, Internet.